collide. Step to the front, watch the sparks ignite. Words like a river flowing fierce and wide, casting lines of logic, let my intellect guide. It's more than just chatter, it's a battle of wits, like a heavyweight fight. Every jab has its hits. I'm a painter with phrases, strokes of the pen on the canvas of conflict. I turn foes into friends. I'm a master of the debate. I'll take you to school. With the power of persuasion, I'll play it cool. Every word is a weapon, every thought a design. In the arena of ideas, I'll claim what's mine.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Glenn Lawrence Presents, a production of Men. My name is Michelle, and I mod and produce here for Glenn's channel. Today we have an opening prelim debate between Glenn and Jake from Project VO podcast. And I understand that we are debating body count. The prompt for this evening is body count cope? And I will keep it short and pass it over to Glenn for his opening statement. I do understand that he has an affirmative position on that. So go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. This is going to be a really quick ass whooping here. You know, Jakey boy is going to get a whooping, but this is my position. I believe that I'm not disputing whether or not body count, a person's body count can affect their ability to pair bond. We already know that science does promote that and shows and demonstrates that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that guys that are complaining about a woman's body count is cope. One, you're never going to know exactly how many dicks has been inside that woman's vagina. You're never going to know. So to assume that you do know, you must be doing so out of fear. You either trying to reject her before she rejects you because you're out of her league, or you're doing so because you don't believe that you could actually satisfy her better than the previous dick that was inside her. So you reject her before embarrassment. You know, I'll just end my opening statement with wise words from Nuclear Cadillo, who says, assume she is promiscuous, but don't obsess over it. The guys that are obsessing over the girl's alleged body count or assumed body count is already assuming that she's promiscuous, but they're obsessing over it. And that's part of the cope.
Thank you, Glenn. Jake, to you for your opening statement.
Yeah. So here's what we have to go through. The cope aspect when it comes to body count. I believe that men have legitimate reasons for promiscuous women in today's day and age. Now, high body count is obviously a component of why men complain about women in today's dating market. This would also include women that have a vast majority of options over men. I'm not saying that they should complain about it. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying that that the fact that you want to say that it's only because that it's just for the sheer factor that they cannot satisfy a woman, or they're just rejecting them purely on because they can't fuck them, could be a component of that. But the overall picture of how the feminist movement has currently had the dating market, I don't blame men for saying that, hey, I think promiscuous women is a pretty bad deal, and I don't blame them for not wanting to deal with these women in the first place. Now, however, Glenn's argument is that these individuals are doing it purely on the aspect that they can't fuck them, and if they did, it's because they can't satisfy them. That's the part that I would reject. And with that, I'll end my opening statement.
So, Jake, do you think that guys that are not fucking women know how to fuck women and satisfy them?
You mean virgins?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't have experience. So what?
So wouldn't they reject the women that have been properly fucked?
No.
I think so.
No. In fact, you even see this when it comes to social media. A lot of these women that are on Instagram, for example, that post thirst traps, and these are women that aren't even they're not models or anything like that. You can see this even with women that aren't even attractive. You see a big case of men simping for these individuals.
Yeah.
Especially if they're virgins.
Especially
Yeah, I know. Especially if they're virgins, that doesn't. Of course, that would resort to that they can't have sex with them, but they're still advocating to promote them and saying they're not calling them whores. They're saying, yes, baby, you're beautiful.
Yeah,
That's what we see.
You know who's calling women whores? The guys that are fucking them, because they're making them whores.
Okay, but we're talking about the
And they're
guys because
satisfying them.
okay, great. So therefore, therefore
What
the
I'm
ones that
pointing
can't
at-
do it? What's your argument that the simps
Right.
that cannot get laid are still glorifying these women's?
Yeah, the simps are
Yeah.
coping to them because
How?
wanting to get laid.
How?
Wanting
They're
to
not
get
calling
laid.
them
They're
whores,
trying to
bro.
They're trying to appeal to them.
Yeah,
that
by
doesn't
not
mean
calling
that
them whores, they're calling them beautiful.
Yeah, but what does that have
Yeah.
to do with their body count? You don't even know if the girl's a whore. You just know that she's posting a thirst trap picture. What is a whore? What is a slut? What is a hoe?
Okay, go ahead and answer those questions, Glenn. Give me the definition of what
is a
you define
promiscuous
as a
woman?
whore.
What is
Huh?
a promiscuous woman? What do you define as a promiscuous woman?
What do you define as that? I'll start with that.
We want to go by my definition?
No, we'll go about each other. We'll shoot it out first.
Okay, a slut, hoe. Okay, well, we know a whore exchanges money, prostitute, right, for sexual favors. Sluts do it for free. Hoes
Mhm.
do it on the low. There you go.
Okay, so let's do it on the low. So again, let's do this. The hoes do it on the low. How many body counts do they need in order for them to be hoes?
From my opinion,
Yeah.
I'll say 10 or more. In today's society,
So let's say
10 or
double
more.
digits.
Yeah, 10 or
Double
more,
digits.
you might be flirting into the hoe flow.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'll agree with you that. So within that ratio of like double digits, 10
Mhm.
or up, right? Then we can probably consider them to be hoes. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think the vast majority of women in let's say the United States are hoes?
Oh yeah, I think the vast majority fall into double digits.
Okay. Well, according to stats, that's not the case. According to stats, the average body count of a woman in a lifetime is 7.
Mhm. Yeah, you know what? According to those stats, those are self-reported. And how many bitches do you know that tell the truth?
Okay, great. So then
Men
your
lie,
argument.
women
Hold on,
lie,
okay. So your hold on. So Glenn, your
So what I'm
argument is
saying is
I don't
like-
believe it, and that's fine. Fair enough.
No,
I get you.
what I'm saying
Women
is
do
like-
lie, Glenn. Women
I'm
do
just saying
lie.
it's self-reported.
Great. Okay.
That's
So
not a good-
can you
that's
give
not
me
a
a counter? Can you give me a counter study that states that on average women have 10 or more body counts?
Oh, actually, yeah, there was one that says the average woman's body count is 30 today. So let me pull it back.
30.
Let me
Go
find it
for
for
it.
you.
Go for it. Bro.
Give me a second. It's gonna take me a minute.
Yeah. But yeah, according to what I have, the lifetime partner of the average woman is 7.
Yeah, but what year was that stat done?
This is survey of 2017. Oh, 2019. I'm sorry.
Okay, so actually, I take that back. The average woman body count is in 2024 is 25 to. Oh, well, that's the ages. Let me get it.
25. God.
No, I'm sorry, wrong one.
Mhm.
Here we go. It says that the average. No, these are dated back in 2017. Sorry, it's probably the same numbers that you have in 2017.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking. I've had this one here. Let me go. I'm going through my tabs. Ah, here we go. Okay, so age group, 20 to 24. The average sexual partners a woman has had from the ages 20 to 24, anywhere between 3.1 to 17.2. Average age of women 24 and 25 and up is 25.6.
25.6. And that's a
Yeah.
study in 2024, you stated?
Yes. Or 2023, March of 2023.
Okay, fair enough. So it's just the year before. Now, based off that study, from at least 2017, it's skyrocketed about fucking quadruple. Is that more or less the claim there?
Yeah. Like,
Okay,
so you got to look
so
at what
yeah.
also has taken place at that time. You got
Yeah.
OnlyFans,
Sure.
the pandemic.
So
You know.
great. So this actually backs up my claim to where when you have a society where the body count was as low as it was, now all the way quadrupling to what your claim is 25 in a lifetime, right? You said that's crazy.
No,
25?
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. Okay, great.
25 point. Hold on, let me pull it up again real quick.
Great.
25.6. Yes.
Great. So in a world where we have women being boss babes and we have the feminist movement and including like media, for example, movies such as the recent Netflix movie where they're having black women deliver mail and saying they're powerful, XYZ, to where we as a society, we actually advocate for women to get their bag over having a family. This would lead into reproduction in a longer aspect. I believe the marriage rate to get married at an age is like 30, right? Somewhere around there. I think we can agree. Okay, cool. So obviously women are...
There's a lot of factors that contribute into that are just not, that has to do with anything other than, you could just say the financial aspect of it. People are not able to financially sustain until later on in life. So
sure. And then
it doesn't have anything to do with women and their whores ways.
Well, obviously we already established that 10 and up, that would mean that they're whores, right?
No,
we established that.
We said hoes, not whores. Because they have to get paid
hoes
for it.
on the down low, the
DL,
right? Yeah. So taking that number into consideration, if women that are having sex on the down low have an average of 10 or up, you would consider them hoes, correct?
Absolutely.
So we have a pandemic of hoes.
We have an epidemic of hoes, not a
epidemic of hoes. Okay, great. Yeah. Epidemic of hoes. Okay, great. Yeah. So my claim is that men on average actually have a lot to complain about in today's society because of feminism. That it doesn't necessarily mean that because they can't have sex with this woman, or they can't if they do have sex with that woman, it's because they can't lay down pipe well enough. Isn't necessary. Hold on. Isn't necessarily a conclusion to say that they're coping. It could also be that the fact that we have so much promiscuity in today's society that men know this, and thus they want to get the least amount of body count as possible. So even if a guy, and trust me, we even see this with simps, like on Facebook, you can see that on Instagram, that these gentlemen, even though you say that they're coping, the vast majority of these guys actually encourage these women to post thirst traps on their social media accounts, bro. So I wouldn't say, if you're going to say anything's coping, it's them encouraging these women, if anything, and they're not going to get laid by them either way.
Yeah. So what is your plan then? Tell me, what's your plan?
You want me to give you a solution to the problem?
Yeah. Give me the solution.
What does that have to do with?
Because I'm going to point out that your solution to the problem is not a solution, and actually,
I haven't even told you my solution.
Well, I can guarantee you, I can know. So go ahead. Go
okay, so you're already predicting my solution before anything, right?
I predict yes, because you're Mexican.
Okay, great. Well, you're white, so I think I'm
Italian.
You might be a white liberal, and that's because you're in California.
I'm a spicy bean.
You are in California, Glenn, so you might actually be a white liberal. You are white in Cali.
Wow.
I don't know. I haven't seen your voting status. You say that you voted for Trump, but who knows?
I'm not the one with bleached hair. I'm not the one with Destiny.
What does that matter? Not Destiny. He didn't dye it this color, but let me go on. Your question again. Can you clarify that for me again?
Yeah, what is your solution?
Okay, the solution to that. So again, I don't claim to have the all-out bees-alls of solution. I don't think you do either. But if I were to actually put a solution to this, it's the same thing for anything. It's to promote the nuclear household. When it comes to men within the household, whether it's a man raising boys or raising girls, a father in the household usually leads to less teen pregnancies in women, and less education. When you have a male in the household, they're likely to do better in school. They're more likely to stay out of prison. Girls are more likely to not get pregnant at teenagers, and etc. What we need to promote is the nuclear family, and as a byproduct of that, we're going to have less promiscuity within our community.
Okay.
And that's one
So-
component there. I can go on with like media, etc., but I'll stay about that. But that's a big component for that.
All right.
What about your solution? What's your solution then?
So first of all, let me just go ahead and break this down for you.
What's your solution, Glenn? Can you answer my question first before you break down what
well,
I'm
actually, I
saying?
let you do a lot of explaining, and then you got to the answer.
It was
in this
like 1
question.
minute, bro.
So let me do a little bit of explaining.
Can
and
you
then
answer
get
my
to the
question
solution.
first?
I would no, I will. I'm going to do it in a sequence order so that everything is explained. So okay.
Okay, so you're gonna answer to me and then give the solution.
No, I'm going
How
to
about-
tell you what.
The solution first?
No, you're just going to listen, and then.
So you're not gonna give me your solution. You're just gonna
Yes,
ask
I
me
will
that.
give you my solution. I will answer.
So
the solution.
I
I'm
answer
gonna
your
do it with my
questions. You don't
monologue.
answer mine. That's fine.
I
Go.
am going to answer your question, but I'm going to do like
Okay.
a monologue thing, like, and just like, go. All right.
Okay,
So
you're gonna do a
for one-
monologue. Go for it.
Yeah. Here we go. So, one, you're saying that it's the sexual promiscuity. Well, you know what? Women cannot be sexually promiscuous if dudes are not fucking them. So the ones that are fucking them are not complaining about whether or not a woman is being promiscuous or not. It's the dudes that are not fucking them that are complaining about these women's promiscuity. Now, listen, when you get that factor in there, who's marrying these girls? Because these women are still getting married. These women are still getting wifed up. These women are getting wifed up by the guys that are complaining about their body count. Okay, so them complaining about their body count is irrelevant because they're still gonna marry them. Because at the end of the day, guys are trying to get laid. Okay, they want pussy, so they're gonna still marry the hoe. The hoe's still getting married. We don't have an epidemic of hoes not getting married or not getting marriage proposals. We have an epidemic of hoes that guys end up marrying. Now, the obsessing over the body count is irrelevant. You will never know her number. You're not with her 24/7. You have not watched that vagina her entire lifetime and watch her whole sexual experiences up until you. So you don't know. All you're going to do is assume based off of what maybe the way that she dresses, maybe the way that she presents herself, are all good indicators that maybe potentially this woman could be promiscuous, but you don't know for certain. Now, you could use that as a buffer and say, you know what, as a filtering mechanism, sure, but let's also not factor in that there's plenty of guys that are using this same filtering mechanism to save themselves embarrassment because they don't know how to eat pussy, they don't know how to fuck, and they don't know how to satisfy a woman. And here's the percentages for that. When it comes to relationships between marital and sexual satisfaction among married women, right? A study done by PMC, PubMed Central, states that when they did a study of 140 women, the questionnaire for the data collected for individuals or included enriched marital satisfaction questionnaire and self-constructed questionnaires. The data were analyzed and descriptive statistics X and Spearman statistical tests. The results were this. The findings showed that in marital satisfaction, the majority of participants, 63.3%, were satisfied overall with their marriage. But in sexual satisfaction scale, participants, these are all women now, at 61% expressed extremely dissatisfaction among their sexual relationship with their spouse. So what does that lead to? So we could say not correlation, but we could say that men that are marrying these hoes, right, are not knowing how to sleep with them, and their women are cheating on them, right? They're not satisfied sexually. So this lack of sexual satisfaction, guys are afraid of even going through that and being embarrassed, so they disqualify these women.
Yeah. Okay, Glenn. Yeah, when you look at when it comes to the reasons of divorce, that's not even close to
No, what is the majority?
Hold on, bro. I let you rant for 5. Bro, I let you rant for 5 minutes. I let you rant for 5 minutes. Glenn, mods, can you tell him to shut up?
Guys.
Can you tell him to shut up?
You tell him
Well,
shut up.
I'm not telling Glenn to shut up, but
Well, you should. Again, he ranted for 5 minutes. Do I
I
get the time
understand.
to talk?
I could pass the mic.
Great. All right. So yeah, Glenn, the divorce rates, the reasons why women divorce men, that's not even a fucking factor at all. However, you didn't answer my question. You wanted to go on a big rant about my response, but you didn't answer my question. Do you remember what my question was?
Oh yeah, what is my solution?
Yeah. Can you answer that first? And then
Yeah.
I can respond.
Here's
Hold
my solution.
on. Hold on, bro.
You want my
You went on a big, hold on, let me finish. You went on a big
Just
old
wanna-
rant where I asked the solution. I asked you the same question. You decided not to do that. Now I'm asking you. You asked me for the solution.
heard it. We heard that
You're
already.
Hey,
I'm gonna give you
can
my
I talk?
solution.
I let you rant for 5 minutes. Can you shut up?
Do you want 5 minutes?
Nah, I don't need 5 minutes, but I let you rant for 5 minutes.
Jake, go ahead.
So thank you. So again, I'm gonna ask the same question you asked me, and then we can start all over here. You asked me what's the solution of that. I said family, nuclear family, etc. In order to negate the simp epidemic that we're currently in, where these men aren't saying that they're whores. They're actually saying, good girl, you're awesome. They're glorifying these whores. They're not actually saying that the vast majority aren't saying that we hate them and that you shouldn't do this. They're actually simping more often, bro. This is why women are being validated more on social media. So again, my question to you is, what's the solution?
Hold everybody accountable. The men are creating the women that we have. Men are doing this. Men, you just pointed out, men are validating them. Men are praising them.
Yeah.
So the
Which is
problem-
why.
So
Yeah.
part of the problem in this
Yeah.
situation is men.
Yes, I
Okay,
agree.
so
agree.
men's desire here is
Yeah.
part of the problem.
Yeah.
So you bringing up feminism, that's irrelevant. You
No,
know?
it's very irrelevant.
No, it's not. It's irrelevant
is.
because men are the ones that are championing this
Yeah.
behavior for
Yeah.
women.
Yeah. So
Men are wanting sluts.
well, no. Well, here's the thing. Greg.
Yes,
You're making the
we
claim.
are wanting sluts.
You're
Men
making the
want sluts.
claim. You're making the claim that these men. You're making the claim that they're coping by calling them whores because they'll
Yeah.
never be able to fuck
Yes.
them. I'm saying the vast majority of these men are what we agree on. They're validating
No,
them.
no.
They're not actually talking shit to them. They're validating it.
I think they're both.
I agree with that. Yes.
I
So
think
we
they're
agree.
both. I think they're the same person. I think the same person are saying, "Oh, she's a slut."
So
She's
then
a
Glenn,
slut."
Glenn,
listen. Let me show you. Have you
Your
watched,
claim-
Have you watched whatever podcast? You watched it.
yes, I have.
You
Yeah.
see all these guys. This
That's
fucking
a
bitch is a
sample,
slut,
but have
she's
you
a
been on
whore,
social media
blah,
with
blah,
these
blah.
these
Hold
Let
on,
Glenn finish.
hold on.
Let Glenn
She's
finish.
a slut. She's a whore. Blah blah blah. And then they go subscribe to her OnlyFans. The same guy.
How do you know that? Can you prove it? It's the same guy?
We actually Michael Sartain did this
Mhm.
exact study
Do
when
you
he brought the
not
girls on.
study?
Hold on.
It's not a
Yes,
study.
This he did. This is what he
No,
did.
it's not a study,
Yes,
bro.
he
I
did.
know what
He-
you're talking about. It's not a study.
Actually,
But go on.
you're gonna interrupt me, Mod. Michael
It's not a study,
Sartain,
but go on.
It's a soft study, if anything. Soft
Okay.
study.
No, it's an
He had the
examination, bro.
girls-
It's not a study.
He had the girls take a picture, a screenshot of their OnlyFans subscribers,
Yeah.
and then before they went on the show, and then 48 hours after they went on the show,
Sure.
and the numbers went up, and they did it on
Yeah.
Fresh and Fit as well.
Sure.
So the same guys that are in the chat, this
Well,
bitch is a whore, she's a
Cool.
slut, she's for the
Yeah.
streets, are the same guys subscribing
guys.
to them.
Okay.
The same guys are saying, I would never wipe her up.
Okay,
Are
great.
the same guys funding her
Gotcha,
lifestyle.
Glenn. Gotcha, Glenn. Okay, so again, just because her numbers went up, doesn't that mean that it doesn't mean that the ones that are calling her a slut or a whore are subscribing? That only means that the numbers, like, let's do the average Fresh and Fit audience. It was 20,000 people live, right? That woman's, what's the exact number from when she went live on Fresh and Fit compared to her numbers went in? Was it by the hundreds? What was it?
I don't know. No,
You don't know. Okay.
I
So
don't
let's
have-
assume,
I don't-
let's assume it was let's say it was
it's
let's say it was
significant.
500. Let's say it was 500. 500
Okay.
subscribers. That's a huge amount.
That's
let's
a huge
give-
amount, yeah.
Let's say 500, bro. I'm
Yeah.
being nice here.
Yeah, let's just
Charitable.
say, let's say,
So-
say there's a 500 increase. Sure.
Cool. All right, cool. So 500 out of 20,000 people that are watching. Do you have any proof that the 500 people that subscribed to that were the ones talking shit in the chat? Do you have any proof on that?
No, I do not.
No, you do not. So therefore, you're just making an assumption. It's not an actual.
We can,
And that's a soft
correlate.
study by Michael Sartain. It's not an
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
study. It's an examination. No,
Yeah,
it's examining it. It's not a study, Glenn. It's
When you
bullshit.
do it multiple times, it's kind of like a soft study.
It's not a soft study. It's not a study. It's examining it. That's not proof that the ones that we're talking shit subscribe to it.
What is the data that we see from it? That we know that guys.
It could have been
talk to these
500
women.
people. It could have been 500 people that didn't even fucking make a single chat. It could have been that out of 20,000.
What
the
is
time with the
what is-
average.
What is the? Let's just be realistic. What is the probability that the same guys that call these girls hoes and sluts are also not the same guys
Could have
that
happened,
subscribe to them?
but we don't have proof on that. Could have happened, but more than likely,
we could assume.
what are the
Knowledge, for
what's the
example,
probability? But there's a
Knowledge
bigger
is a perfect
probability.
example. Knowledge is a perfect example.
Hold on, Glenn, can I respond to that? There's a bigger probability out of the 20,000 people that were watching that which the vast majority don't actually comment. They're just watching and listening.
Mm-hmm.
There could have been a big probability of somebody that never chatted and looked up their OnlyFans and subscribed to that. Now, again, I'm saying that could have been the case. Now, those could be the ones that are validating them 100% compared to the ones that weren't validating them. They were saying you're a slut and you shouldn't be doing this.
Okay. Let me
So
ask you this.
you don't have any proof that those are the
Let me-
guys subscribing to those OnlyFans.
No, not those ones. Okay, but let me ask you this:
Yeah, well, you don't have proof
Do
on
you-
that.
Do you think guys hate hoes? Do guys hate hoes?
Hate?
Yeah. Do guys not like hoes at all?
Yeah, they don't like them. I
No,
don't know about
guys
hate.
fucking love them. They love them. They just don't want to marry them.
Well, yeah,
They just
yeah,
don't want to
exactly.
marry them.
Yeah, I
They
can agree
make
with that.
them. They
Sure.
make them.
Sure.
Okay, guys
So-
fucking love sluts. All right.
Okay.
They
So
love
what?
them. And then
So
guess
what?
what? The woman pretends that she's not a slut, and
Uh-huh.
then the guy marries the slut.
I agree with all that, Glenn.
Okay,
Again,
so guess
your
what? At the
claim
end
is
of the
that
day,
your
the-
claim is that
the
they're
claim is that
coping on body
coping,
count,
yes.
and that doesn't prove any of
Yes.
that.
Yes, they do cope on it. They're-
How?
I will
You don't have any
I
proof
will
that
I will never
you-
get with a woman that has this many body count. But
Yeah.
guess what? They end up marrying them. It's a cope. It's virtue signaling.
Okay. But at the end of the day, obviously, there's components on men because remember, we established 10 body count, right? 10 body count.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Let's get on a realistic aspect that we already established that the average woman is 25 or something crazy like that. Okay, let's say that's true.
Yeah, that's just one study. So let's just
There's a whole bunch of them. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say that any man that that knowingly marries a woman with a 10 body count or any of that nature is doing it because he's coping because because he could never fuck her or anything like that? Do you think it's validation or there's other components of that?
I think that for example, I think if a guy that's about
Mm-hmm.
his convictions and it says, I don't want to marry a woman with X amount of body count, I don't want to marry a slut,
Yeah, it's a preference.
then they're willing to stay single and they shouldn't be bitching about women. But
Well, see, that's an ought. They shouldn't be, and I agree with that. They shouldn't be complaining about that, Glenn.
If they're bitching about them, but they're also
Sure.
marrying them.
Yeah, but
So
at the same,
what is that-
yeah, but okay, well,
It's
yeah,
called-
but hold on,
they,
hold on.
they have a problem with it. They have a problem
No,
with it until they're
your
able
claim
to
was,
fuck it.
bro. Your
My
okay.
claim is it's a cope that the guys that are dismissing women, the main problem is it's not so much that they care.
Yeah, but
about
I don't
their
think they're
body
dismissing. I don't
It-
think they're dismissing
Let Glenn
women,
finish.
Glenn.
Let Glenn finish. Glenn, go
I don't
ahead.
think they're
count.
dismissing
It's
women,
less
Glenn.
to deal with the fact that that her body count is high. It has more to do with the fact that one, he's never going to be able to get her. She's never going to even give him the time of day. So he gets to reject her before she rejects him. And also it saves him from embarrassment, knowing that even if she did accept him, he knows that he does not have the skill set that to satisfy her because of his limited or no experience than the previous person that she probably got with. The
Right.
probability is higher there. And so it's better to save face and say, I would never get with a woman like that, than actually admit to the fact that, like, yeah, he would probably sleep with her.
Glenn, would you marry a woman with 3,000 body count?
No, but I would fuck one. I probably
Wait,
have.
okay, no. Would you marry? Yes or no? No, right? You said-
I don't believe in
Okay,
marriage today that we do it
hold on.
anyway.
Okay. Let's say under God, would you marry a woman with a 3,000 body count under God
If I knew,
if you knew?
how does she treat me?
She treats you great, Glenn.
Like a king?
She treats you like a king, Glenn.
Does
Would you
she-
marry her or
does she
not?
refer to me- Does she refer to me Lord? Like Sarah
Lord
did?
Lawrence. Yes, Lord Lawrence.
Oh,
Do you
shit.
marry her or not? 3,000 body count.
Yeah. I mean, I
You
can't
do.
even get a bitch with one body count call me Lord like Sarah did.
Okay, great.
I'm all for that.
Okay, that's fine, bro. That's fine. So again, we know that women lie all the fucking time, just like you stated before. But you're
Yeah.
willing to marry a 3,000 body of a woman
Again,
that
I would assume
hold on. I'm not done yet. You're willing to marry a woman with a 3,000 body count because she calls you Lord Lawrence,
And she treats me right.
and she treats you right. And we know that women lie all the
no
time,
problem.
especially after you give them the ring. They're more likely to get fatter, etc. The dynamics
Prenup.
could change. The dynamics
Prenup.
is. Can I talk? You can get a prenup, but the point is that you stated right there that you're willing to marry a whore. That's what it is. Okay. Admittedly, that's what you are. Now, here's the thing. But
Again,
Glenn,
what did I say?
Glenn, let me
Glenn,
circle to
Glenn.
my point. Glenn, let me circle to my point here. My point is that it's not necessarily cope that they don't want to marry this woman. There's other factors of why they choose those women, right? I'm not saying 3,000 body. I'm using an extreme example to make my point. Is that when it comes to body count, and assuming that the average is 25, if there's a body count of 10, by definition of what we're saying, she's a whore, right? It's not necessarily that they're marrying.
Whores get paid.
No, slut's different, right?
Yeah,
Slut and hoe is different. Yeah, we established that. Yeah, we established that. My point is that we see men marrying these women for completely different reasons, bro. It's not necessarily because they're afraid of the body count. I think body count's not necessarily a factor. However, my point is
who's the ones that are marrying?
my point is that I don't think the body count cope of what you're saying, that men are saying this, and you have no proof on that. You mentioned
we
the
do.
Sartain thing. There's no proof on that. You haven't given me any.
We have proof that guys that are complaining about women's body count are complaining about it as more of a virtue signal because they still end up marrying them. That's
virtual signal to who? Virtual signal to who?
To the rest of the guys, the brotherhood. They make it
What
seem like, oh,
guys?
you're gonna marry no
What
slut.
guys? What guys?
Everybody in the panels, everybody in the chat. That's
What chat? Fresh and
every
Fits chat? Who?
Every Twitter, every time you
I don't see any of that at all.
You don't. Then obviously you don't go on social media, Jake.
I do go on social media.
So you don't hear guys complaining about women's body count like, oh, she's a slut. she's
Yeah,
for the
sure.
street.
Yeah, sure. Because they're OnlyFans whores, and they are sluts. They're whores, bro.
Yeah,
They're
well, those are
prostitutes.
whores. Those
By
are
definition, they are whores.
Those are whores.
They're whores. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
but
what.
about Isabella-
Those are who
what
they
about
complain
Isabella
about.
What about Isabella DeLuca? Is she a slut?
I don't know who the fuck that is.
That's Cake Gate. You don't remember that on Twitter?
No, but let me tell you this.
Girl with just big
Would
tits.
you agree? Would you agree that the fucking chicks that are on Fresh and Fit and whatever podcast that have OnlyFans and they're saying
are
they're
whores.
whores, isn't that
Those are whores.
accurate? Isn't that
Those are-
accurate when the chat
yes,
says that
that's
they're whores?
irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
It's not irrelevant. You're saying they're
Yes, it is.
coping. I'm saying they're telling
No.
the truth.
And I'm saying that they're whores.
I'm saying they're telling the truth. They're whores.
they-
That's the
yes,
truth.
they're
You're
whores,
saying
and
it's
they
cope.
still
I'm saying that's
marry
not.
them.
Hear either of you.
And
Okay,
they
really.
they still marry them.
Glenn, respond outside of the marriage. Respond to this. I'm saying that the men that are calling those OnlyFans women whores are telling the truth. They're not coping. They're telling the exact truth of the matter. You're saying they're
Yes.
coping because they can't bang them.
No. I said
You
they're
said that.
coping I said they're coping when they say that I would never get with them.
Okay, they're saying that too. I'm saying they're not
That's part
coping.
of the cope.
No,
because
but they're not.
you
They're
said
not
it.
getting with them because they're whores, right? So the whore part is real.
No. They're not getting with them because they're not even accessible to them. These women would never select them, and then even
Okay,
if
but
they did have
that's
the
irrelevant.
opportunity to get selected,
How's that cope,
they
bro?
would reject them. They have rejected them due to lack of skill.
Yeah, okay, but again, how's that cope? Again, the vast majority of men don't marry OnlyFans women. They're
I think it's what 1 out of 4 women statistically are on OnlyFans. Women are still getting married.
I don't know about that, maybe, but nevertheless, even if you add that stat in there, there's no proof that these men
Nala
are.
got married. She got wifed up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, she did get wifed up. I get you there. How long's that gonna last, though? Right?
I don't know.
I think that guy married Nala not because he's coping, but it's because it's good for his career as a Jesus influencer, etc.
What are
Bro.
you talking about? It's not good for his career to make him look like Hosea.
No, because
horrible.
because we have a simp epidemic, right?
Horrible marketing for the church.
Exactly. I know, but that's dude. That is the church that's promoting that. We accept everybody.
Hold on,
dude.
Give me a second. I let you go. Give me a second. So let me clarify this. All this. Okay.
Go for it.
I'm saying that when guys are saying that women are whores, that they're not going to marry them. Okay. And
that you would, but they wouldn't.
No, they would too.
No, you would. They wouldn't.
Here's the thing. I'm saying that
you would.
I'm operating under the sense that all women, I presume all women to be promiscuous. I'm not.
Yeah, even if they're 3,000 bodies and you know that, you'd still marry her. That's disgusting.
She has 3,000 bodies.
No, you knew that she did, and you still wanted to marry her.
Well, in that hypothetical, that's the only options you gave me. So I'm just going to assume that it's true.
Not an only option. Right? Your option could have said, no, I wouldn't do that.
I'm assuming that all women are like that. That's the game.
No, not assuming. You knew. The hypothetical is that you know that she has a body count.
I knew that one did.
And you still chose her.
Yes. You know why? Because I'm assuming that the other ones over there probably do too.
Who cares if they do?
That all women are promiscuous. Okay, all women have got dick in the ass, and they have dick down the throat. They have had multiple loads on their face. Okay, right. I'm assuming all of them have had that.
So what? So, you can assume all you want. Why would you marry a whore? That's stupid.
I'm saying my presumption is that they're all.
Who cares?
Whores. They're all
you
sluts.
Know she's a whore.
Yes, I'm presuming that.
All women you know.
I know this woman's a slut, but guess what? This slut treats me right. Those other sluts didn't. So I'm going to take the slut that treats me right over the sluts that don't treat me right.
All right. So let me clarify, Glenn. In the hypothetical,
in this purview here, I'm saying that all women are promiscuous. All of them had been whores or sluts.
That's not my point. I wasn't arguing that.
It's my point. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you have this mindset of like, okay, you know what? All women are promiscuous, right?
According to your stat, yeah.
You just go off of how do they treat you? Because you know what?
So Glenn,
let me flip this on you. All men, no, listen. All men are murderers. All men can be murderers. But ladies, how does this murderer treat you? Does this murderer treat you? Does he take care of you? Does he, is he kind to you? Is he lead you correctly?
What the fuck?
Does he harm you? No.
What the fuck is this guy talking about?
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
The same view.
No.
Yes, because the whole bear and the bear and the man thing. It's because they're saying the bear it most likely will be
sure. That's a psychological thing, but I'm not talking about that. Yes. My specific.
It's the same principle. If women just view that all men are capable of murder, and men are just view women all women are capable of being sluts, just presume that they are.
I understand that. I agree with all that thing. But Glenn, that doesn't prove that this is cope, though. That doesn't prove any of that. No, it doesn't prove it. So Glenn, I asked you earlier if you knew this chick had 3,000 bodies. And it was all on camera, etc. You knew for a fact that's what the case was. Sure. You're saying I would marry her because I'm assuming other men believe that they had that their girl. You said that. Hold on, Glenn. Glenn, let me talk, bro. Glenn, let me talk. Glenn, let me talk.
Guys.
Glenn. You said, how does she? Oh, I'm gonna pick this girl because other men assume that their girl is probably banging 3,000 men. Again, that's what you said earlier.
No, what I said, how does she treat me?
I know that.
Like a king.
So therefore, I'm going to get the one with 3,000 bodies that could also be assumption.
So the 3,000 bodies doesn't mean shit then.
Guys.
The 3,000 bodies doesn't mean anything then.
Yeah.
If she's treating me the best.
So again, Glenn, you're getting a lot of talking here. So
yeah, go ahead, Jake.
So my point was, when I asked you if you knew that she had 3,000 bodies, you would marry her because she treats you right. Okay. And then when you went on into your little fucking rant, you said the reason why I chose her was because other men, it's an assumption that I assume, hold on. I assume that she's already a whore. So I'm just going to pick the best whore. That was your assumption.
Yeah. That's what you're doing.
Well, hold on. Let me finish. So I got your argument correctly. Just saying that I am. You agreed with it. What the fuck?
No, I disagreed with that one portion.
Okay, so let me finish. Let me finish. And I'll let you respond. Let me finish. And I'll let you
correctly. What did I say was the main reason,
bro? Am I gonna get to talk? Come on, mods.
Yeah, let Jake finish his thought. Go on, push to talk, guys.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So again, yeah. According to Glenn, he would marry a whore with 3,000 bodies, and he knows that she's fucked 3,000 men because she calls him Lord Lawrence and she treats him right. Okay. when it doesn't take in consideration that women tend to lie, right? That women tend to have different perspectives after marriage than before marriage. We see this all the time within marriages, and it takes, a lot of effort when it comes to marriage to kind of fight that through. So my point is that, especially when you have the chemical reaction of oxytocin, that is called the love hormone, that women tend to not bond with men like that, especially when they have a higher body count. So a woman with 3,000 body counts, why on earth Glenn would give that woman a chance in the first place is beyond me, because she treated him right. When there's plenty of women with I'm not saying they can be a virgin or anything, but even lower body counts, bro. It's depending on frame and how you go about things. But the lower body count is least likely for her to cheat on you, in order for her to leave you, etc. I'm just shooting out the odds, Glenn. That's what it is. But again,
Now,
the cope doesn't prove that. The cope,
Yes,
the
it
cope
does.
that you're saying does not prove that.
Yes.
But go ahead, Glenn.
Let me explain. So yeah, let's say this girl has 3,000 bodies, and there's been 3,000 dicks, but
Okay.
I am 3,001, not 992. Okay, 3,001,
Okay.
and let's say 3,001. I'm the one that alpha widows her.
Mm-hmm.
Those remaining body counts, those previous body counts, erased.
What are the odds of that?
Theoretically,
Yeah,
we see
the
that
average man. What are the odds of the average man doing?
I'm
that?
not average, bro. I'm not average in length, size. Shit.
Glenn.
I
Okay,
mean,
Glenn. All right, fine, Glenn.
there's a lot of things that are not
So
average
my
about
question is the
I'm not
average
even
man. I'm not
average
talking
height.
about you. Okay,
Well,
that's fine, Glenn.
We're talking about me though.
No, I'm talking about the average
You
man.
talking about me. You're saying Glenn. I'm answering your question.
Okay,
Why
go for it.
why I would?
Mhm.
Because in choosing this, I'm
Mhm.
already factoring in that I would not make that decision if I didn't already know that I am
you're
the one
Superman.
that alpha widowed her. That I alpha widowed her. That I am her sexual best. And
Right.
you would know that by her behavior.
Sounds like
right?
hope to me.
That's not cope. That's not
Sounds like
cope.
hope, bro.
That's not cope. And this has been something that people don't want to discuss, is that yes, the risk is greater, the woman's body count, that she will have a bad ability to pair bond with somebody
you agree
long
with that?
term.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I've already said that in the beginning.
Yeah, I know.
But with
That's
the-
why I
but
brought
the-
it up,
but also
which
says in that
contradicts why
same-
your decision is
no,
doing
no.
that.
What it also states is that it also does account for that there are those that, if the man that she's with is her sexual best, those previous body counts do not factor.
Sure. Okay, so Glenn, you're saying she had 3,000 guys. There could have been guys with 12-inch, 20-inch cocks.
None
She
of
got
them-
railed through, but none of them match up to
matter.
Glenn Lawrence, because yours
And
is
Glenn
50 feet
Lawrence
or something.
fucked her soul so good,
So
he
good.
made her orgasm spiritually.
But so
Yes.
did maybe 2,000 men before
No,
that.
nobody
1,000
else
men
ever
didn't.
done it to
No?
the Glenn level Lawrence level.
Okay,
That's
Glenn.
the whole point. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's where the cope factor comes in. That's
actually
all
not
cope.
cope.
That is cope, Glenn.
It's
But
not cope.
let me tell you this: the average male, actually, I don't even think the above average male can fucking do
average.
that neither. The above, you even see porn stars, bro, that are in relationships can't even keep a fucking woman, bro. We see that.
porn
We see that
stars in
even
relationships can.
Cooper,
Sometimes.
even Cooper has stated this, Glenn, and he's in porn, and he's
No, he's
stated
not.
this.
He's not in porn. no
He
more.
was in porn. He has experience, and he spoke
What has he
on that
stated?
experience.
What has
And
he
he even
stated?
said those porn stars are fucking simps. They're blue-pilled simps.
No, yes. Certain
Yeah, so what
ones.
you're saying is simp shit.
No.
That I could
Because
just
when
fuck her
you're
and she'll
taking-
stay
you're
with me
taking them out of
forever.
context, you're taking them out of context.
No, I'm
for one,
not.
and yes, he's very, very disingenuous, because he tells you that if you are her sexual best, he's saying the same fucking thing that I'm saying.
Yeah, but a woman that's 3,000, again, a porn star, bro, you don't see that.
I'm using your number, because if the number is, if we're saying it's 10, right?
Yeah.
We're saying 10 is a slut, right? Anybody with 10 or more, you run the risk of her not being able to pair bond.
Yeah, and the studies don't show that with oxytocin on
hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. I'm saying if we're saying at 10,
Mhm.
from 10 bodies and up, so whether it's 10 or 3,000, you are running the risk of her not having the ability to pair bond, right? You're running the same
No.
risk.
Not the same risk. No, it's not even the same risk. So
It's
you're saying that
25%. It's 25% for everybody. Let's get the numbers right. Let's get those numbers. Can we get the numbers for the body count and like
I think after 10, it goes down 33% by 1/3 after 10.
it goes down to 33%.
Yeah, 1/3,
Okay.
1/3 goes down after 10. After 10.
Well, this can somebody, AJ, somebody, can we get the numbers on this? Because I know that like regardless,
I'll
as
look it
soon as
up.
it hits a certain threshold, it's like it's still
It
the same
is.
percentage.
But it would make sense that the more and more bodies they have, the oxytocin gets more and more irrelevant because they have an immunity to the
Unless
chemical.
you are able to transcend their current experience to a different
I understand
threshold that they have experienced. Therefore,
Okay.
then that oxytocin issue is no longer a problem.
Yeah, okay. Do you have proof on that? Do you have any example of that?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get the study because it talks about.
No.
that
Do
in
you
the
have a
study.
personal example?
This is I'm using the same study that you're pointing out.
Yeah, and they didn't state
And
that.
yes, it does. Pull up the study.
All right, go ahead, Aaron or Michelle.
His name's AJ.
AJ.
Yeah, we're waiting on that.
I'm
to
looking
queue
right
up
now.
just a
I'm
moment.
skimming through a National Institute of Health paper. And
Even RP Thor has mentioned this. He talks about it. He had the data.
Good
He
for
also
you, bro.
brings up the theory.
But the way you're using it is
I'm saying
is not accurate to the prompt.
what is not accurate to the prompt? Like you asked me the question.
You're saying that
We're only arguing the question that right now.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's what I'm saying. But the overall cope, the reason why I see guys rejecting these women is because more fear than of like I'm really concerned
Like fear
about
of
her
rejection,
body count.
right?
Yes,
Fear of rejection.
because here's the reason why it has to be that. Because you will never know for certain the woman's body count.
Sure.
You're telling me you've never met a woman that presented like to try to fit in, to try to like, act like she's this way, but then when you get her alone, she's not that way at all.
Perhaps so, but nevertheless, Glenn, but that doesn't prove
that proves that
No, it doesn't prove anything.
That proves that you don't know her body count.
Yeah, I
And you
know,
will never
but
know
Glenn,
her body count.
Glenn, I understand that, but I'm saying
Then
when
why
you
are we
look at
using body
stats,
count? Why are people obsessing over the number?
okay, so I'll tell you, it's not obsession. Like, here's the thing: I don't think most men obsess over body count. I think the ones in your chat or Fresh and Fit call them sluts, and then you want to do Mike Sartain that this OnlyFans went up, but you don't have any proof that the ones that call them sluts and whores because they're OnlyFans subscribe to that. There's no proof on that. So again, that's irrelevant. That's my point.
Okay,
It could be the other 15,000 people that didn't say a damn thing that subscribe to the OnlyFans, bro.
Okay, what about Tyreek Hill, or what's that guy's name? The football player?
Tyreek Hill, yeah, I know who he is. The wide receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs.
No, not him. Like the guy, the one that's like all over the news right now. His girlfriend has an OnlyFans, or she was like his fiance like has a OnlyFans, or she was a slut or whatever. And
did she fuck him up?
No, they're getting married.
They're getting married. Do you think that she will in the future, based off the odds, Glenn?
I think he's running the risk.
I think the odds are is that she's gonna fucking milk him for everything that he's worth, and it's hypergamy.
I think he's
an idiot for doing that. Yes,
I think that he is not choosing the options correctly, and
yeah, just like you did with the 3,000 body count.
It has nothing. But see, no. There's a difference because
she probably treats him like a king too.
No,
Glenn.
she does not.
How do you know that? Maybe she does.
We have exhibited it on live television.
Okay, what does she do on live television? I'm not familiar with the story.
Okay, what's the guy's? Can we get the guy's name so I can pull up the case
It's Tyreek Hill, bro. That's the wide receiver.
It's the wrong name. I know it's the wrong name. I just said some black guy's name in football.
Yeah,
first that came to my mind.
Very accurate. By the way,
are you referring to the Heisman Trophy winner?
Yeah, the guy that's like with the Mexican girlfriend.
I think it's the Heisman Trophy winner. I can double check on that one. Give me a
like,
bit. I'm still like
Donovan Sharp has talked about her and him. Like he's run shows about it. Several people have talked about it. This girl has absolutely zero fucks about dude. Like you could tell that she denied him. She even talks about how like when he first met her, she rejected him, and then when she later found out like who he is, then she ends up dating him, and
bad move on his part.
Yeah, like it was bad luck all the way around.
Yeah,
but so there's factors here that are showing that we don't know her body count though, but we don't know her body count. We don't know her body count.
Yeah, of course we don't know, but what is the probability that it's over 10? Yeah. What's the probability that's over 10?
Probably great. But here's
Yeah,
the
so
thing.
therefore it's safe
But
to
here's the
assume that
thing.
more than
Hold on,
likely she's a
hold
hoe.
on, hold
And
on.
she's OnlyFans. By definition, she's a
Again,
hoe, Glenn.
no, she's a whore by
A
definition. But
whore,
okay,
whatever.
so hold
But
on.
that's still
Hear me out. Okay?
Okay.
If you didn't know any of that, and if the woman treated you right, if there was no sign of promiscuity,
yeah.
and there was no sign of her taking, you know, a gangbang, you know,
Sure.
and she treated you right.
Yeah.
And she fucked and rocked your world sexually. She didn't withhold anything, right?
Yeah.
She treated you right, and you never knew about her sexual past. You probably would marry her.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So then you would marry a girl that potentially has 3,000 bodies, and as long as you didn't know.
That's not bro.
Cool. You would.
No,
You would.
that's not,
If
it's
you
not.
Didn't know, if you didn't, yes, it is. If you did not know that she had, so
there's a
you're telling me right now,
difference.
hold on. If
Over.
there was no sign of her being promiscuous,
Okay.
and that you had no knowledge of her sexual past whatsoever,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And she treated you right,
I got
and
the
she
point.
was that perfect little submissive wife,
Okay.
and you would marry her
Sure.
without knowledge. Okay, so then you would marry a woman that had 3,000 bodies too.
No, that's not the conclusion. What are you talking about?
Yes.
So
you
again,
would.
Glenn,
At the end of the day, you still
what
would
you're
marry a woman
describing,
that had
what
3,000 bodies.
Glenn, what you're describing is a very, very, very unlikely situation. You're
No,
literally
it's
putting.
not.
Yes, it is. Hold on.
It's a very likely situation. I'm
Okay.
pointing out that you will never
Can
know.
you name? Can you name
What
a
are
girl
you
with 3,000
prioritizing?
bodies
Hold
that
on,
is submissive?
listen,
Can
what
you
are
name one
prior-
girl? Hold on. Can you name one girl in real life that has 3,000 bodies and
I don't
submissive?
know a woman that has 3,000
Because it doesn't
bodies.
exist, Glenn. You're
I'm
making a
sure it
fucking
does.
scenario that doesn't exist.
I'm sure there's a woman.
Oh,
that
I'm
has
sure it
3,000
does.
dicks.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't. So,
I'm sure there might be a
prove your
woman
claim.
that has
Prove your
3,000
claim
dicks in
then.
her.
Prove it.
Your claim that there isn't.
I didn't claim that. You said it was. You're saying that
you just said
it
that
does
it hasn't.
exist.
I
I don't
said,
think
I'm
it does.
sure. I said,
no.
I'm sure it does.
I'm disagreeing with your claim. You made the claim, so you prove it, fucker.
I'm to say I'm sure that it does. Like there's porn stars out there that have.
And I'm saying that I don't think it is.
3,000 dicks. Like,
You made the
I don't
claim
know.
though. Yeah.
I
So
don't know how many dicks these porn stars take, on average. But I'm sure
pretty
that
sure it's
there's a
around
lot of dicks.
3,000. Yeah, I'm sure it's around there.
I don't know what the average dick like per porn star career is. I'm not
I think I found
knowledgeable.
it, guys.
What?
This study's a little older because it's pulling from 95, 02, and then a 06 to 08 study. So it's the happiness and pair bonding with partners numbers, percentage numbers. So for the 06 to 08 study, for a woman over 30 years of age and in a stable marriage, she is about 88% happy. And then it drops from when they have one partner, it drops down to just above 50%. Two partners at 50%. 3 to 4 partners, right at 50% again. 5 to 9 partners is just above 40%.
Whoa.
10 to 20 partners is
That's actually worse than what I was looking at.
Yeah. This 06, 07 study, so it could have gotten even worse over the years.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that proves my point too when it comes to pair bonding. That's crazy. Actually, that's a study I've never seen. Can you link that in the back chat for me?
But what is this?
I'll download the image and I'll put it to Glenn's Telegram. And then
Okay.
10 to 20.
Yeah, send it to me later because yeah, dude, that actually is worse because I was thinking 33% when it came down to 10. This study's saying 40.
No, 10 to 20 partners. So where you guys were agreeing for the what classifies a slut or not is about 29%, and then
okay, so
21 plus partners is the final one, and that is just about 21%.
Okay, wow. Okay, all right.
So
yeah, I'll send it this.
So 21%. 21% of these girls with 20 body or 10 bodies or more, because we're saying all 10 and up, right? Because that was the number.
Yeah, well, because we made the we made the agreement.
So 10 bodies and up, 21%. So 3,010 have the same percentage.
That's not what it says, Glenn.
Yes, it does, based off of the data that we just right
yeah,
here.
but again, the data ends around there, so it could go even worse. Glenn, it's safe to assume
it doesn't show that it goes worse. It just shows that 10 to 21 and up are at whatever percentage.
They said 80% are happy around the what'd you say, two body count, right?
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, and as it gets more and more, it goes down to 21, bro. So,
but it doesn't go up from.
It's 21. Pretty. Yeah, because the study ended there, but it's safe to assume.
All we could assume is that it's 21%.
I'll go back to it for the study. Just a body count of 2 is 50%.
Oh, okay,
So-
damn.
Is this it right here?
Yeah, it's right here, and there's the chart.
Can you zoom in, Glenn?
I'm going to. Am I zoomed
There
in?
you go. Yeah.
All right. So 21 and up. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Yeah, stable marriages. Look, as the body count gets higher, it
No, yeah,
goes all the way
I'm not
down.
disagreeing with this. I said that at a certain point that it plateaus.
Yeah, but it's safe to assume that
I'm not
that
assuming anything. I'm just going off
well-
of 21 plus.
yeah, but you
Oh.
stated that you would marry a woman with 3,000 bodies, and then
Yes,
you're saying
because the risk
because
of
it's
doing that-
21, it stops
I'm
right
saying-
there. There's
I'm
no
saying
there's
the
no
risk
evidence
is
on that.
probably
You
the
can
same.
safely assume that it will go even lower, Glenn, all the way down to 0%.
I am not assuming anything.
It's safe to assume, Glenn. The probability
said that?
is that it would.
Who said it's ever
Because
safe
the
to
stats
assume
show that.
anything?
The stats show that. It's right in front of you, Glenn.
Who says
it's right in front of
ever
you.
safe to assume anything?
Bro, it's safe to assume this. Look at the stats right here, bro.
I see what the stats are, and the stats says that 21 and up, 21 bodies and up, it's at whatever percentage around 21.
It's at around 21, yeah.
Okay, so let's say we have no other data to go off of that. So from
You're
there
just going to
on,
assume it's always going to be that way, even
I'm
though
just
there's
going
more
off
bodies.
I'm just saying, at least from what they're showing
So
me.
you don't want to,
Because you don't think that they like had girls that they had like 40 and 50, maybe
Glenn,
100
Glenn,
bodies. You
Glenn,
don't think
Glenn,
that they had
Glenn.
100 bodies? in this
Glenn,
test?
according to the stats, okay, 21 and up is literally at 21%, Glenn.
Yes.
Okay,
and we're saying, and we're starting
Glenn,
off the number.
Glenn.
No, listen, we're starting off the number at 10 and up, and we said it's safe to assume that say the majority of all women have 10 bodies and up. So then it's safe to assume that all of them from 10 and up
Around 40% in what we said. Well,
21
according to the stats in
20%.
in 2006 2008 the survey, the 10 5 to 9,
Okay, yeah,
which we can assume that's around there.
10 and up,
It
10 and
hits
up
around
is
41. Now,
40%.
if that's 5 to 9, if you go 10 to 20, that shoots down drastically, Glenn.
Again, right
So-
here, 10 to
So-
20, right? 10 to 20.
Yeah, but this proves my point on.
drops like 10%. Okay, whatever. But
Yeah,
what I'm
but this-
saying is you're still running pretty much the same risk.
Yeah, but Glenn, not necessarily. Again, if you're going,
10%.
but Glenn, yeah, 10% is 5% and more.
Yeah, go ahead, AJ.
I apologize for you. So when they go with the 21 and up, and it's been about 10 years since I've taken a statistics course, at that point, any number fluctuation is statistically null and void. So that's why they're just going to keep
Sure.
it at 21 and up. So it's pretty much flat lines after
I agree.
21.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But
So-
but I'm
That
saying
was
it's
the point I'm
pretty
saying.
okay. But I'm saying that when you add the 3,000 bodies, which was the hypothetical I gave you earlier,
Yeah.
it's pretty safe to assume that 10% is going to go down at 5 or 2 or 3 or to nothing. Okay.
No,
That's not what
this
the
is
chart-
why
that's not
men.
what the
This
chart
is.
saying.
Hold on. What was that,
I know
AJ?
it doesn't say that. I know. I'm making
Hold
a
on, AJ, what were you
probability.
saying?
I'm making a
Um,
probability statement. I'm making
So
a
the way that
probability.
The way that study is set up, or that survey is set up, is if you're using statistics, once they got past 21 bodies, they were not finding any enough information and enough population to make a good enough.
Sure, 'cause there's not a
assumption
lot of women with, like-
statistically to have a change in standard deviation. So it is statistically no different whether a person's got 3,000 body or a 21
Mhm.
body.
Cool.
That's
So I'm
what the chart
debating the
says.
moderator and Glenn right now. But real quick, I'm saying no. I am. I'm debating the moderator and Glenn. Hold on. AJ.
Jake, I'm not trying to debate you. I'm just trying to, for the audience, I'm trying to put everything in perspective for them. I'm not, I'm not
but
siding with either one
that's
on this.
Glenn's job to do that, not yours. You're the moderator. So again, what my perspective is, I'm making a probability statement that I understand that they didn't have the stats on that. I know I'm debating you right now, AJ, but I understand that they're not making the stats on that because it plateaued. However, I'm saying based off the probability, if it's 30 to 50, that percentage from 10 could possibly go down to 5, etc. If they continued the study and they had the resources to do it.
Let me ask
Probability wise, that would be the case.
Let me ask
That's
you
my
this
answer to you, AJ. Go ahead.
Let me
Glenn.
ask you a question. What negative effect does it do to presume that all women are promiscuous and they have more? Guys, we've been talking about this for years. You know, whatever a girl says her body count is, times it by 3, add 7, right? You know, it's like that's her number. right? So she said she had 5. It's 15 plus 7. Okay, 22. All right, let's just assume that like that. Guys have already been doing that.
No, they haven't been doing that, bro.
I remember
Maybe
doing
in the
that
red
back
pill
in high
red
school.
pill space, sure.
No,
Yeah, because
we're
it's
talking about this in
probability.
high
So
school.
they're adding the probability. That's why they do it.
We're
It's a
assuming
probability.
that they're lying because we know that women lie about their
Sure,
number.
but a lot of men don't
Guys
know
lie
that.
about
A
their
lot of men
number.
are
And we
simping
know
on
that
fucking
women lie
lying.
about their number, saying that it's less than it really is, and we know that men lie about their number, saying that it's more than it is.
And I
So,
agree.
Again, so we know that it's just safe to assume that all of them are promiscuous.
Oh,
all
so
of
you're
them have
assuming
had
now,
gangbangs.
just like I did. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying that it's safe to assume that all women are promiscuous. And
Yeah, and it's safe to assume that study, if it goes past 21, that the percentage would go down. Can you agree with me on that at least? No, dude. Okay. So it's safe to assume that they're all a bunch of whores, but it's not safe to assume that studies wise, if the resources were there, if the resources were there, that the percentage would go down. You're saying that's not safe to assume.
We don't have the data to do that. But
but you don't have the data to fucking know that women have that promiscuous body neither. To assume it.
We do have the data to know that.
And I have the data to show that you could assume that would go down too, bro. That's my point.
We have the data to show that most women don't get married as virgins.
Yeah, I understand that,
less
Glenn.
than 3%.
Glenn.
The majority of women are promiscuous. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's not my argument, Glenn.
But I'm saying if you just go into it and you're like, you know what? All women are promiscuous. She's probably had more dicks than you could count. And if you just assume that, then you're not focused on the sex aspect.
Okay, great. I understand that. Just like this stat.
How she
just like this stat.
How she treats you and how of a good
you should focus. You should focus on the statistics as well. Based off of the statistics. Yeah, hold on, Glenn. We base things off of probability. In other words, if there's a lion in front of me, the likelihood of that fucking lion mauling me to death is pretty high because I know how lions are. Correct? What?
Glenn. Wait a minute. What are you talking about, AJ? The blacks NFL with the OF is no. He's entering the draft this year.
Okay, so Glenn, really quick, because I know you have your mods helping you out. Really quick, Glenn.
No, my point. The story I was talking about earlier.
My point is that the probability of a lion mauling you to death is pretty high compared to lions that we see that fucking play with humans. Okay. My point is, based off those stats, it's pretty easy to assume that those percentages would go down as if we had the resources to study more so on body count, Glenn. That's my point.
Okay,
you stated it's not safe to assume. Just like you made the example, it's safe to assume that maybe she's lying. It could be a higher body count. I agree with that, but why are you agreeing? Hold on. Why is it safe to assume one thing but not the other?
Because I'm saying I'm not factoring in. I'm not putting everything on one factor.
I'm not either.
Yes, you are.
I'm not.
You're saying that it's you're saying it's okay to dismiss them because they have a high body count and not factoring in the other factors.
I'm factoring stats.
What are you? But you're not factoring how she treats you.
Yes, I am. I would totally, bro. I agreed with you already that yes, if a woman, just like you asked me, if you didn't know anything about the bitch and then she's treating you all right, would you marry her? I'd be like, yeah, I would. And then you said, oh, you would marry a woman with a 3,000 body count. I said, no, those are different. Those are different.
You didn't know she had 3,000 dicks.
Yeah, but Glenn,
what's the point?
Glenn, that doesn't correlate with correlate with your question, bro. It doesn't at all. It's a stupid.
She still has had 3,000 dicks, whether you knew or not.
Bro, but dude, my point is that based off probability, usually men, and even Donovan Sharp has talked about this, is that you need to vet women, right? You need to vet them. Okay, great. Hold on, Glenn.
There's multiple aspects to vetting, right?
And I agree with that, Glenn. I agree with that. I'm saying this, just because she's sugar and spice and everything nice doesn't mean that she's a virgin. I'm not making that argument at all, Glenn. What I'm saying is that the probability based off stats and how a woman presents herself, okay, is a huge factor of you dismissing her, okay? So if a woman, for example, has a reputation in a particular bar and everybody knows who she is, maybe, but they say she's great, bro, she's cool, she's awesome, doesn't mean she's not a whore, though. Okay, that does not mean.
Yeah.
In fact,
And
probability wise,
the girl in
could be
church,
a bad trait. It could be a
the
bad
girl
trait.
in church that's there every Wednesday. at
Same thing with
Bible
church,
study,
bro.
you
Same
know
thing
what?
with that. Sure.
She's never
But the
even, she's not even promoting promiscuity. She's out there campaigning against it, right? She could
Sure,
be
Glenn.
the biggest whore in the world.
Sure, Glenn. But I'm talking about probability, bro. I'm talking
And
about
I'm saying
probability.
the sad thing is,
I'm
today's
saying-
day and age, the probability of
I
you running
agree.
into a slut at church is just as high as you running into a slut on the street.
I mean, maybe so, Glenn. But my point is that you have to examine these women and based off the
Yes, and then
stats, if
I'm
she has
saying you
21
can't-
bodies or higher, hold on, Glenn. If she has 21 bodies or higher, and you can make a probable judgment, more or less based off of boyfriends, etc., doing your vetting the way men
Again,
should do, then
yes.
therefore it's very reasonable to dismiss a woman for high body count. That's my point.
again,
It's
and
not
I'm
cope.
pointing out-
It's not
and
cope. It's
yes, it is.
probability, bro.
Here's the cope.
It's not cope.
know
It's
shit.
probability.
You don't know their body count.
But-
You will never know.
Glenn,
So you
that's
are
not my
flipping over
point,
the number.
Glenn.
That
Glenn,
is
that's
the
not my
point. That's the whole point of this.
Glenn.
That's
Glenn, that's,
assuming that this.
Glenn, your point is that it's cope. I'm saying it's not. I think it's reasonable
cope.
based off of vetting a woman. I think it's reasonable.
How do you know her body count? Tell me. Tell me
Okay, so-
one instance how you would know
So
a woman.
probability wise, you could do these different ways. For example, I've met women. Okay, I'm gonna do anecdotal, bro. I'm gonna do anecdotal. So one of Rollo Tomasi's 9 rules or whatever, iron rules, he states that you should never tell a woman your body count. I disagree with that.
I don't.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why I disagree with that.
Why?
This actually has to do with actually knowing what her true body, or as honest as possible on body
You
count.
never know that.
So I know you don't, bro. Listen to it. I'm talking about probability. Okay. So again, you don't even have to tell the truth on this. Usually with women, you don't have to tell her your actual body count, but odds are the more likelihood of a higher body count
I
that you
wouldn't
do.
tell her your body count.
Okay, well, let me explain
No,
this.
just-
I get you red pill guys say, don't ever tell her.
No,
She's
I'm
never
saying,
gonna be on.
No, I'm
But
asking
I'm
why.
ta-
How would she know if you didn't tell her? I'm just wondering, like, how would you know? I'm just
Because
asking.
how would she know that if you're telling the truth or not?
No.
that your-
You said something about like even if you didn't tell her your body count, right? She would just know. So how would she know?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Then I misheard you. I'm sorry. I thought that's
Yeah.
what I heard you say.
So no, I said that telling a woman your body count could be beneficial to get it accurate, but depending on the time. So when you first meet a woman, and I'm a conservative guy, but usually when I was in the metal scene, etc., and I would talk to these chicks, of course I'm in a liberal environment. Now this is special to me. I'm not saying men should do this, but my personal aspect is that I would promote like, yeah, dude, women can go ahead and have sex with men. I'm all for that. Do the liberal agenda with them because they're all feminists.
Mhm.
When you first meet them and you're honest that way, and I tell them like, yeah, I fucked 60 chicks. Maybe at the time it was 30. And they would be honest with me like, oh yeah, that's a lot. I'm at like 20, bro. Or I'm at 5, or I'm at this. You get a little bit more of an accurate if they trust you enough to give you an accurate number, you know? And if they like you enough. This is all about frame. So if you
that's no, you are assuming
Hold
that they're being honest to you.
again, this is probability, Glenn. I'm not saying I'm taking their word fully. I'm saying that the likelihood of them being honest, if they know that you're on their side and you don't judge, you can get more of an honest answer, Glenn. That's my point. And you see that even with any type of negotiation or third degree on criminals, when you're nice to them and they find you to be like a friend, they are more willing to be honest. You see that even with criminals that good cop, bad cop. You see that all the time, Glenn. So why wouldn't it be different even with women? Okay. My thing is, if you're honest with them, or at least giving them a good body count, they're more likely to tell you the truth. So therefore, you know what you're dealing with before actually dating them, etc. Glenn, that's my point. Now, this is off topic about the subject, but I would say, I think men, if you are fucking this woman, yeah, why not lie to an extent? If you're a conservative man, if you're a liberal guy, I think liberal guys can get more of an accurate take than conservative dudes, especially if they know. They're more likely to lie because they're more likely to say that you're going to judge them than liberal men. I would say just pretend that you are. You can get more of an accurate number than if they know that you're a Trump supporter, bro. That's the point there. Would you say that that's reasonable in my take?
I think it's like you're still 50-50. I don't
Okay,
think
fair enough.
I don't think it moves the needle one way or the other.
Could be. There's no studies on that, but
here's the thing: we do know that women are concerned about self-image to
Sure.
the point where, so just because you told her that you had 60 bodies or whatever, right? Women socially have been like, they know that if they are perceived,
well, they
as
avoid
a whore,
judgment, right, Glenn?
yes, they avoid being judged.
Yeah,
Period.
but I'm
So-
saying that if you don't
so,
judge
hold on.
them,
But regardless,
they're more.
it
Okay.
doesn't matter. It's them telling you, right? Doesn't mean that
Mhm.
you might not go tell someone else, and then those people might judge her, right?
Yeah, but Glenn, we see
so-
that with interrogations when it comes to criminals on good cop, bad cop. It's a psychological. This is literally a psychological technique that I'm telling you.
One thing about one is dealing with one's freedom. The person that's in, dealing in interrogation,
And the other one's dealing with their reputation, Glenn.
reputation is better than is not more than freedom. Freedom, I'm gonna sing like a canary. I'm gonna try to do whatever I can just so I get the least amount of time, let alone
No, that's not the case. They do this with people that don't talk. This is why they use particular psychological techniques to get more of the truth out. I'm saying you could do the same thing with women based off of the psychological tricks that they do interrogations with interrogations.
So you're interrogating women.
It's not interrogating. I'm saying you can use the same techniques.
Again, you're never gonna know.
I know that. That's not my claim. It's not my claim.
What is the most important thing? You watch what they do, not what
agree.
they say. So the
And
medium
along
is
with
the
that-
message. So
Yes.
the medium is the message. So it doesn't matter what she says.
So you
her
agree with
number
me,
is.
Glenn? I made that point
No, I
earlier.
don't agree with you. I said
You-
it doesn't matter what she says. I'm watching what she does.
Yes,
So
that was my thing. That's why I talked
you
about
didn't.
venting a woman. Venting a woman. You said
No,
you
you're
said
the one that's hung up on the body count.
I'm not
the one
hung
that
up on
said-
it. I haven't even
No,
mentioned it.
Your whole argument is with body count. I'm saying
No, it's
that
not.
I'm saying that the number is cope, all right? Because a woman with 3,000 bodies could treat you better than a woman with one.
How does
okay.
that prove that it's cope, bro? It
Because
doesn't.
where's the cope is the guys that are saying that, oh, I will never get with that woman, she's a slut. The reason why they're dismissing the woman,
Can you prove
because
it?
we already assume that today in
Oh,
modernity,
you assume. Okay.
well, everybody already
Well,
assumes. I'm talking about in general.
who's everybody?
You even assume that the majority of women are sluts. You already talked about it in the beginning.
Yeah, I'm assuming it doesn't mean it's true,
Okay.
right, Glenn? They could possibly be virgins,
yeah.
Glenn. They could
Nah.
possibly be virgins, right?
Where?
Yeah, where? What you're assuming they're whores, I can assume
Yes,
that they're virgins.
yes, and I'm saying
I can assume that they're virgins, Glenn.
Okay, and
you
I'm
can
saying
do the
that
same
will-
argument. You can do
Okay,
the
so
same
then
argument.
What sets you up for more failure, though? What
It
sets you
doesn't
up for
matter.
failure?
The
It
point
does
is
matter.
about assuming.
It does matter.
If you're assuming,
it does
Bro,
matter. Listen, it does matter. If I already think they're down here,
I'm talking about the argument.
I
I
think they're
agree.
down here.
Glenn,
If I think, no, listen. If I already think they're down here, if I think all women are sluts, right out the gate, that all women are promiscuous, right? I don't think them any higher or angelic or holier or pure or chaste. If I just think all women are equally promiscuous, right? Then if I get with a woman that's happens not to be, oh wow, great on me. If I did and I got with a woman who is just as promiscuous as I thought she is, I already was prepared for it mentally. I already knew what I was walking into.
You're talking about the odds.
There's a more detrimental issue
Yeah,
when
you're
the
talking
guy
about
gets
odds,
a woman with
Sure.
a woman that thinks that she's innocent and she's not promiscuous, and
Yeah.
then he comes to find out that she is
Yeah,
promiscuous.
Glenn.
Everything is much more detrimental. So
Glenn.
again, mental mindset is, you know what? If you just assume that you're never going to know her number, and you're not paying attention to what she says, and you're watching what she does, so you're watching how she treats you. If you already assume that all women are promiscuous, right? You're not worried about the body count. You're not focused on that. You're focused on how that woman treats you. That should be more important than the words that come out of her mouth. The actions are more important than what is said. So the medium is the message. Watch what people do, not what people say. So the
Glenn,
guys, here's my thing. The guys that are saying that the body count is an issue, the body count matters, right? They are unable to track the difference between words and actions. Okay, is what I'm saying. And they don't know how to vet. They do not have frame. They don't have these tools. So it's better to just reject them before they get embarrassed or before they get, rejected. And
Yeah,
that's where the cope is.
Glenn, use the example of OnlyFans. That your prime
I'm not
example
using of OnlyFans. I never used.
Well, when I asked you for proof on that statement, you said,
What?
"Well, look at Fresh and Fit's chat and whatever's chat." You use that as an example when I asked you for proof. Okay?
I said the girls on there that they bring on there, the ones that
They're OnlyFans whores. Yes,
you're the one that pointed out the OnlyFans whores.
They are
Okay.
OnlyFans whores.
I'm saying, so I didn't use it. You used it.
But you would agree, right?
I agree that not all of them are OnlyFans whores. Actually, whatever.
So there's only there's women that are only there's women that do porn, but they're not whores. They're not prostitutes. That's what you're saying.
No. I said the majority of women that have gone on whatever podcast statistically have not been OnlyFans whores.
Okay, but I'm talking about the ones that are, Glenn.
So again, they're not the majority.
That's what I don't know if they. I don't have the stats of how many women have OnlyFans on whatever.
According to Brian and Andrew, the majority of women that have been on whatever podcast are not OnlyFans whores.
Okay, great. But I'm talking about the ones that are, because your statement was a woman, because you reference Mike Sartain, where it was a woman that had an OnlyFans, and they did a study, which is not a study.
Great study.
It's not a study. No, it's just an examination. But he did this, and then he saw her numbers go up. You're saying it's the ones that are talking shit. I'm saying, what's the proof on that? You don't have any proof.
Okay,
and
I could concede that. So
okay, great.
We'll move on.
Great.
What's the point of the fact of that?
Great.
You're not dismissing anything that I said.
So can you actually give me a? Okay, so we just you agreed.
You can't refute.
So Glenn, you agreed with that. So can you give me proof?
You cannot. Can you give me the fact that actions speak louder than words, and that you should watch their body language or how they treat you.
I agree with
more
that.
than what they say.
Yeah, that wasn't my argument. So Glenn,
that's not what I'm saying. That's why I know it's a cope.
Yeah, but it's not, because your example of proof was that example. You just conceded. Hold on, you just conceded. Yeah, we don't know. Great. So can you give me something, evidence that does prove that? Yes or no?
What? That proves what?
That proves that the ones that are talking shit are the ones buying OnlyFans. Can you have any proof?
That's irrelevant to the debate.
No, because you said that they're coping because they can't fucking.
I'm saying anybody.
You use that as proof, bro.
Any guy that says right now that they would not get with the slut is a fucking
like
lie.
The ones talking shit. Like the ones talking shit in Fresh
anybody.
Fit. Great. Can you prove?
I guarantee you.
Can you prove that they're coping, bro?
I would guarantee you. You would say you get with the slut. Andrew would get with the slut. You know, if there was freedom, not Andrew, but I know other Andrews, right? AJ would get with this, and we all know AJ gets with sluts.
That's not the point. Are they coping?
The whole point.
Are they coping? Is AJ coping?
Pastors get with sluts.
You getting with a slut? Are you coping?
No, he's all for sluts.
No,
but pastors that we know plenty of pastors that have.
Yeah, it's not my argument. You made the claim.
My argument. The ones that are saying that it's bad, that they will never get with a woman like that, are still getting women with like that. So
okay, but even the ones that promote it, like we see time and time again, all these fucking simps validating these fucking whores would still do that.
Yes,
they would still do it. So therefore, your claim was the ones that are talking shit are coping. The ones that talk shit about body count are coping. And you haven't given me any evidence on that other than Mike Sartain did a study. And you just conceded that wasn't the case.
40% of pastors have had extramarital affairs. 40% of pastors. 40% of the ones that are saying.
Did they talk shit to them? Did they talk shit to those girls? No, but your argument is the ones talking shit on Fresh and Fit. They're coping. It's a coping mechanism. I'm saying prove it.
Dismiss that. I'm just saying the same people.
Okay, so then I win the debate. Therefore, I win the debate.
Because
you just conceded it. You don't have proof.
No, I said I conceded that point. You can't prove. You can't.
Well, can you make a claim? Can you make a claim
that the guys that are saying that they're against promiscuity, that they're down with we need to get rid of promiscuity, are not really against it because they fucking operate in it. They still reward it. If all these men were against promiscuity, we wouldn't have it.
Okay, great. And here's the thing, Glenn. Glenn.
All I hear is all these conservatives I mean,
Yeah.
shit, we have the conservative beer calendar.
Horrible.
That promotes,
Horrible.
That
Yes.
promotes fucking
Yes, it's
promiscuity.
horrible. They shouldn't
I
do
don't wanna
that.
hear that.
They shouldn't
They're
do that.
cope.
That
Cope.
wasn't my claim, but they shouldn't do that. I
But
agree.
they still do. So I'm saying the same group of people that are saying they're
But they're not
against it,
talking shit. You
but
made the
yes,
claim.
they are talking the shit.
You made the claim that
They are
it's
talking
because they
shit.
can't get laid by these women. Therefore it's
No,
cope.
I'm saying that's their mental model.
Okay, Glenn, your assumption was that men that talk shit are doing that, calling the whores, and they believe in body count is because they can't fuck them in the first place. That was your claim. What does the beer can the beer company
Because it
doing a
shows me
calendar? Hold on, let me finish my
shows
question first.
promiscuity.
Can I finish my question?
Mhm.
What does the beer company that does a calendar? What does that have anything to do with men talking shit because they can't get laid and they're coping? It has nothing to do with it.
Yes,
I
yes.
agree with you on everything that you said, but that has nothing to do with the subject. Has nothing to do with the subject.
You asked me a question. Then why'd you ask me
Go
a
ahead and
question?
explain. Go ahead and explain to it.
Okay, so here is a conservative calendar, conservative values, right?
Yeah,
Promoting promiscuity.
sure.
So the same guys that buy that beer are promoting promiscuity. They're probably
I agree,
the
but
same
how does
guys
that-
agree with not getting with sluts? That shame these whores. Okay.
How do you know those are the same guys shaming the whores? You haven't proven that.
It was my assumption. I'm assuming.
Assumption. Okay.
Okay. That it's the same blend because if they're conservative, so then are we saying?
And I'm assuming it's not. I'm assuming they're liberals.
They're liberals supporting conservative movement and conservative.
No, I'm
beer.
saying the same ones that you're comparing to the fresh and fit fucking chatters.
I'm saying that we have seen pastors tell guys in church
I
to
agree.
marry that whore.
I agree.
You know what?
It's horrible.
Okay, then. So then that's the same thing. You're
But that doesn't
promoting
prove
marrying whores.
no, but that doesn't prove that they're talking shit and buying their OnlyFans because they
They're
can't fuck
telling
them
women-
and
they tell women
XYZ. That doesn't prove any of
tell
that.
women they tell women not to be promiscuous.
Can
Being
you give me
promiscuous-
actual evidence? Can you give me actual proof that that's what your claim is?
We have Pastor Matt Chandler. Jesus
Does he
wants
have
the
proof?
rose.
Did he
Jesus
do a
wants the
study?
rose. No, he talks
He
about
didn't.
like
Okay.
if you let me finish, you should probably hit the mute button like I did for you earlier. It's not interjecting and stuff like that.
Yeah, fuck you hit the mute button my ass. All right, go on, Glenn. I'll let you talk. I'll let you go. I think
this is
I
what
think
I'm
we're-
saying. This is what I'm getting at. So they are saying women, you should not be promiscuous. Okay, guys, you shouldn't. Women should not be promiscuous. Bad promiscuous women. Right? We hear that from the conservative group. Right? But then as soon as the woman comes, you should marry this whore. Jesus washed her of her sins. No, she's still a whore. You're still promoting her. Okay, so then there's no difference. Then don't say you're rejecting her, but then you're offering up for marriage. And there's the guys that reject it. I would never get with that woman. I would never get with a woman like her.
Yeah.
End up marrying a woman just like her. So then what's the difference?
Who?
To
Can you
me,
give me an
that's
example of
hope.
that?
Well, again, you don't know.
Yeah,
this
you don't know
woman's body
either.
count.
That's my point.
That's what I'm pointing at. If we already, for the sake of the argument, we already assumed that.
But
every
you don't
woman
know
that-
any men
listen,
that talk shit and then
listen.
married them. You didn't. You don't have any proof on
not
that.
marrying that individual woman, not that woman. I'm saying a
Maybe
woman.
they married a
like-
woman with 2 body counts, less than 10.
No. Because for the sake of the argument, we said the majority of women today 10 or more. That's
Or
what we said.
Oh, okay. But how do you know that he married a girl with 10 or more bodies?
Because we just said them today for the sake of argument, the majority
Sure.
of women have 10 or more, right?
Okay. So
So
then
the
therefore,
majority of men
by
are
that
marrying
logic,
whores.
Glenn, so that then by that logic, every single person in America would fall under that category.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm saying
And I'm saying if you have that mentality that they're all
Yeah.
promiscuous,
yeah.
then it doesn't matter what their body count is.
Okay. Glenn. I could concede that if we're to get that statement of the 25 bodies, etc., that yes, that would be the case. Now, going back to my perspective on when it comes to the coping mechanism that we're originally arguing on, is that I think that could be one component of things, but it's not the only component
I'm
that
not
you're
saying
claiming.
I'm never saying it's not the only component.
Well, because you said body counts cope. I'm saying it's not.
The guys that are
I'm saying that could be a component, but there's so many other factors that why men complain today.
Yes.
It's not necessarily because of only body count. It could
Okay,
be a
so let me
component. it could be a component.
Let me
However,
ask
when
you
you
this.
look at the stats, when you look at stats of women that have jobs, etc., and we look at stats that if a woman out earns a man, there's different negative outcomes
What
on
guys?
the
Let me ask you
dynamics
this.
between the
How
relationship.
many
There's
how
different.
many
Hold on,
single guys
bro.
that have
Let me finish.
options are no? I just want to know this.
Glenn, let me
This is
finish.
part of the- this
Save
part
your
of the-
question. Save your question. Let me finish my thought. Just let me finish my thought really quick.
You think too
Really
long.
quick, Glenn. I don't take dude. I let you rant all you want, bro. Just really quick.
I let you.
Um,
know all you want.
So we saw, so we can see that when it comes to economics, right? Like a woman that makes more money than a man,
Yep.
we could see that there's a negative outlook when it comes to the dynamics between the relationship. You could see that same factor when a woman presents herself as a whore. That there's different factors there that could lead to a breakup, right?
Oh,
Men,
that's not causation in court. That has nothing to do.
well, again,
You're assuming.
and you see that in the stats, bro. You saw that in the stats.
You can also see
Dude,
the
we
stats
already
that women that are not even promiscuous.
Glenn,
Hold on, you got women who are not even promiscuous who may
God
out earn
damn
their
it,
husband,
Glenn.
divorce
God,
them too.
Glenn,
So what's your
Glenn,
point in that?
Glenn, listen, bro. Even the stats that AJ brought up about the marriage, bro, we even see that in those stats. The more bodies leads to more divorces.
But
That's a fact. So
that's fine. That's irrelevant.
Glenn,
So does it, a woman that out earns her husband.
Glenn, listen, bro.
Guys,
Just let me talk. Let me talk really quick. So going back to, I'm saying that that's one component that could be a factor. There's other components as well that I just named about like finances. If a woman makes more money in a relationship, the factor of divorce goes down as well. If you have two secular people in a relationship, the factor of divorce also goes down. There's a lot of factors there. If you look at the stats when it comes to religious couples, they tend to do better.
Christian have the highest divorce rate of all religions.
Yes, self-proclaimed Christians. This includes
That's all
people.
Christians.
Yeah, for sure.
Everybody-
Okay, Glenn. Okay, I'll grant you that. The point is that there's factors there to mitigate those divorces as much as possible. One of them is body count. And I think this is why it's not cope, it's men being logical when it comes to choosing partners. That's my argument.
So let me ask you this. Why then, give me the answer to the women that are not promiscuous, have no promiscuous past, who divorce their husbands because they out earn them.
Okay, give me an example of that person.
I'm saying, you want
Give me an example. Who did that?
You got what's her name?
Who?
The singer Adele. She divorced her husband.
Okay, and
Adele
she was a virgin when she married him and everything.
She out earned him. She divorced him.
Was she? Did she have a high body count?
I don't know.
Okay. So we can assume okay. So let's
her sex.
Okay.
I'm not assuming anybody's body count.
Okay. So give me a factor here. Was she a whore? Or was she not?
What?
Was she a whore? Or was she not? Just
we don't know.
Okay. Then I don't know the answer to your question if you're not going to give me the factor.
So what about the fact that you're saying that her promiscuity has to play a role in also all these other things, and I'm saying there are hypothetically. What about the virgin who out earned her husband and leaves him because of finances? Because
that's a great question.
Women divorce. Hold on, let me finish. Women divorce men at 70 to 80% of the time when divorce is filed, right? And not all of those divorces have to do with her previous sexual past. There's a lot of virgins that were previously married. All right, there's low body counts that women had very low body counts that also still divorced their husbands, right?
Yeah.
So with that being the case, when promiscuity not even being a factor in divorce, right? Then you can't equate to why there's all these other factors. So it doesn't. So you could say that it's one way to metric. Oh, her sexual past. Easy, that could be the first check, but so that doesn't save you from anything. The woman that can have a sexual past, right? But you being her sexual best, and she is submissive to you. She does treat you well. She treats you better than any of the women that you've ever been with before with low body counts. That woman could still be better for you than the woman that with the low body count that may not be better for you.
Yeah. So let me address. So let me address your other claim. Obviously, we did the stat that woman's body count in 2024 is 25, etc. We had another stat that said otherwise in 2017 to 2019 that it was 7, right? So just looking at that, if we can assume that During that time, it was 7, and 2024, it's quadrupled.
Yeah.
Let's do this when it comes to the marriage stats of divorce, is that the vast majority of men, when it comes down to the top 2 reasons of divorce, it's infidelity and I believe
It's irreconcilable difference. That's number one. Number
say that
one
again?
reason for divorce is irreconcilable differences.
different communication differences or something like that. And
It's irreconcilable
the-
differences.
yeah, but the big one is infidelity, Glenn. The big one's infidelity.
No, it's not.
Glenn.
Just pull it up.
It is. Okay, let me Google it really fast and I can present it to you, bro.
I'll Google it right now too. Number one reason for divorce in America. Right here, divorce statistics.
Lack of according to most studies, the primary reason cited for divorce is lack of commitment within the relationship. Commitment. Often issues like poor communication, infidelity, and unsolved conflict. Infidelity.
That's
So-
not the number one reason.
Yeah, it is. It says lack of commitment.
Are you using here?
This-
I'm using the study from the National Library of Medicine or CDC.
Okay, so I'm looking at the overall studies of what many studies on
Google,
average
what Google
state.
says.
Yes. I just Googled it really quick, bro.
You're not. Why would anybody just take the first thing that Google says? You're not going.
It's not the first thing. It's genuine. It's
not a
generated on the average outcome of most studies. So in general, it's often issues like poor communication, infidelity, and unsolved conflict. Okay.
Unsolved conflict is irreconcilable differences.
And infidelity is cheating, bro.
Yes,
So-
but the
so-
number one reason when
I got-
people file for divorce, they put down irreconcilable differences.
That could mean anything though, right? What does that mean exactly, Glenn? Can you give me a specific thing what that means? Tell me.
I don't know.
It's an umbrella, exactly, because it's an umbrella thing.
Exactly.
So the actual,
what we
so
know, what
yeah,
we
so the
know is that
actual-
irreconcilable differences.
sure,
Could
Glenn.
mean they had an affair. It could mean they're arguing.
Yeah, well, the
over
top three
could be
is
finances.
communication and infidelity, okay, and unsolved
No,
conflicts.
irreconcilable differences. We don't know.
Yeah, but that's an
Number one.
umbrella of these 3 terms, bro.
Yes, it could be one of the 3, but we don't know which one it is.
Well, again, when it comes to the divorce, a lot of people usually file divorce because of infidelity or poor communications, right?
that was the
Now,
case,
the
if
poor
it was
communications
infidelity,
and
If it was
unresolved,
infidelity, it would be
bro.
more of a fault divorce, right?
Yeah, 100%. But I'm not talking about no
No.
fault divorce or fault
No,
divorce.
but I'm saying that if it would be a fault divorce, then.
When it comes to infidelity, yeah, I can agree with that.
So then when
But-
they say irreconcilable differences, because right here,
That could also mean poor communication. Do you
right
think
here,
poor
it says, okay,
communication is fault divorce?
Why are people divorcing in the United States? Lack of commitment is the most common reason given by divorcing couples, according to recent national survey.
Lack of
Here
commitment.
is the reasons given their percentage. Hold on, my damn screen went black. Okay. Lack of commitment, 73%. Argue
What is
too
it?
much, 56%. Infidelity, 55%.
Oh, so it's the majority. That's the majority
No,
of divorces,
no,
56%.
No, 73%. Lack of commitment,
Oh, okay,
not
73%.
infidelity.
Okay, hold on. So
Infidelity is 55%.
55%. So
Marriage-
55%.
marriage too young. I'm going to read them all.
Glenn, I
Marriage
have a
too
question.
young.
I have a question just to understand the stats that you're reading. Does the 55% show that 55% of people that got divorced did it because of infidelity?
No. So
What does it
says-
show?
Again, I'll read it to you.
Mhm.
Why people are divorcing in the United States.
Yeah.
Lack of commitment is the most common reason given by divorcing couples, according to a recent national survey.
Mhm.
Here are the reasons given and their percentages. Number 1, lack of commitment at 73%. Number 2, argue too much at 56%. Infidelity, number 3, at 55%. Married too young at 46%. Unrealistic expectations, 45%. Lack of equality in relationships, 44%. Lack of preparation for marriage, 41%. And domestic violence or abuse, 25%. So The majority is not infidelity. Is what I'm pointing out.
It's the second, yeah. But
No,
lack
it's
of
the
commit.
third.
Hold on.
It's the third.
Okay, third. Glenn, so that's why I asked you, does that percentage mean that it's individual studies? Because you're giving majorities.
Often cited. Okay, I'm reading right here. Respondents often
I'm asking
cited
you a question.
more-
Can you just tell me exactly what the study is? Are these studies separate, or is it one study?
This is one study.
One study. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, 55% of people said that it was because of infidelity, but then you said
that got
75.
divorced, out of those that were divorced, right?
Yeah.
And they're the ones that they asked, right? 55% of them said because of infidelity. But
Okay, so that's the majority.
No, it's not the majority. The majority said lack of commitment.
Gotcha. Okay. So again, it's 100% when it comes to a stat, right? So you divide that up. I'm asking, what's the percentage of lack of commitment? You said, right? Lack of commitment.
It says
And
73%.
Okay, 73 compared to 55. When you add that up, it's over 100%.
Again,
I'm asking.
I don't know the number.
Okay.
Here, I'm just trying to read respondents. Let me finish reading. Respondents often cited more than one reason. Therefore, the percentages added up too much more than 100%.
Okay, I got you there. Okay, that's what I was asking. So it wasn't one reason completely.
There's multiple reasons.
Yeah. So Glenn, really quick.
And being married too young.
Glenn. So what that
either way.
Glenn, really quick, Glenn. So what that study shows is that the vast majority, 55% of those people.
No. You can't do that.
Hold on. Glenn, listen.
The vast majority is 55%.
Hold on. I understand it. The vast majority said that one component of divorce was infidelity.
No,
right?
One majority said lack of commitment.
I know, Glenn, listen to my statement here. According to that study, there's multiple reasons. So they can add different reasons of that, right? When it came to the reasoning, the majority, 55%, said infidelity. Okay, along with lack of commitment.
You're dismissing the other two right out the gate.
No, I'm not, Glenn. Glenn, listen to what I'm saying. The study is. I
could say the majority said lack of commitment.
They did. Yes, they did. That was one component.
That has nothing to do with infidelity. It doesn't have to have.
I know it doesn't, Glenn. Listen. I'm saying what this study shows is that there's different components that they had to check mark. So it could have been lack of commitment as well as infidelity, as well as whatever other components.
Have anything to do with infidelity. It could be
but
they
Glenn,
argue too much and they're not committed to the person that they're wanting to argue.
Glenn,
with.
but there wasn't a single reason in that study. That's the thing. Okay.
Yes. So
but
you cannot assume
Glenn,
that the majority is 55% of it's all for infidelity.
Yeah, I know, but that study actually does show that because
no, it doesn't.
Glenn, listen. The way they did the study was they said name a list of reasons why you're getting divorced. Okay. One of them was lack of commitment. Another one was communication or something like that. Argue too much. Okay, so lack of commitment, argue too much, and infidelity. Okay, the third, right?
For the top three.
Cool. For the top three, cool. So amongst the top three, the vast majority at least said infidelity at 55. That's what the study shows,
no, it
Glenn.
Doesn't.
You literally stated that right now, Glenn.
Hear it again.
Glenn, this is why the numbers don't add up. It's because there's multiple. Okay.
Yes, there's multiple reasons, but you are choosing.
Yeah, so they can choose.
Stop. You are choosing to skip the first two percentages.
Glenn.
Stop. Listen. You are choosing to dismiss the first two percentages and accept the third one because that's your choice.
No, I agree, Glenn. I agree. Lack of commitment, 75%.
73%.
73%, whatever. Okay, Glenn, that's the majority. I get it. Hold on.
That's the majority. And the fact
73% put that check mark. Sure.
The second one is they argue too much.
Okay, yes. Okay.
56%. And then the third one is
infidelity at 55.
Again, so since they multiple choices, right?
Glenn, understand.
Also infidelity and something else, or arguing and something else, or lack of commitment.
That's what I was saying, Glenn. That's what I was saying.
You're saying that it is infidelity is the majority reason.
No. Listen, Glenn. No, I didn't say that, Glenn. I said that they checked mark different reasons. Okay, out of those reasons, The
the
third
majority?
component, yes, it's the vast majority of them at least checked mark the lack of commitment, right?
Okay,
73%. Cool.
The reason why they got divorced.
No, because there's different components there that you have to break
Yes,
down.
but you don't know which one it is.
Glenn, the study that you read out shows this, Glenn, that
No, it
the
doesn't.
majority of people still checkmarked infidelity. Now,
No.
when you,
No.
yes,
If
they
you're gonna-
did.
If you're going to say that, you're missing-
55%, Glenn.
55% said infidelity, but 56% said they argued too much.
Okay, and again, the majority said argue too much, and the majority said infidelity, and the majority said lack of commitment. That's what the
Okay.
stats show. But my claim is the majority is still infidelity.
No,
And that is a
and
fact.
That's not what you're proving.
Bro, it shows that in the study. What are you talking about?
No, you're
Guys,
saying that you're-
Jake, hold on, guys. I'm going to interject. Jake, are you saying that anything over 50% is a majority? And so
Correct.
all three of those things are majorities?
Yeah. So the
Okay.
way they conducted the study, is they gave them different reasons on that. Now you can check mark different reasons for the divorce. The majority did check mark at 73% was lack of commitment. The next one at 56 was arguments. The other majority was infidelity. So all three are majorities. I'm not saying it's only one, Glenn.
No,
but
the majority is a one thing. The majority is
no, Glenn. I'm
Now-
saying what they check mark. You're allowed to check mark multiple reasons for your divorce. This is what this study shows.
But that's
Why I'm saying.
when you look at it, when you have these options,
So
it can
Glenn,
be- it can
even
be
when I
so
Googled
many-
it, it showed this, Glenn.
hypothetically, well, you're trying to assume that it's all infidelity, and I'm saying that's not true.
No, I didn't say that. Glenn, I
Yes,
said
you
one
did.
of the
You said the majority is
I said
infidelity.
one of the biggest reasons for divorce is infidelity, Glenn. And that's a
So you
fact. That
said
is
the
true.
biggest reasons. You said the biggest
okay.
reason.
Okay,
That
and you
was
said
wrong.
okay, so let's break down the other ones. As far as argumentation, I can say okay, that makes sense. That's at 56 compared to 55.
Yeah.
Let's do lack of commitment. That's an umbrella term. That's an umbrella term. That makes sense.
No,
Because lack of commitment, hold on, Glenn, I'm not done. Because lack of commitment could also say that he wasn't committed to me because he fucked another woman. So
Yeah,
that
but
could still
also
fall
be
under
unrealistic.
infidelity.
Lack of commitment
Glenn.
can also be unrealistic expectations.
Exactly. So it's an umbrella term. So
then
let's.
you can't just say it's infidelity. The
No,
lack of
I'm not
commitment
saying it's
is-
just infidelity, Glenn.
You said that the number one
Bro.
reason was infidelity, and I told you that it
No,
wasn't.
I Googled it. I gave you the top 3 reasons, bro.
No, you
I-
gave me the top one reason, and you said that it was infidelity.
I literally Googled it and I read it out loud earlier in the
Before
fucking
that,
stream.
Before you Googled it, what did you say? You said infidelity. I said that's not true.
I said,
And
yes,
then looked it up.
that's yes. I said that's the number one reason,
And I said
more or
it's
less.
not.
But
And I
but
was
lack
right.
of commitment, and we agreed that lack of commitment is an umbrella term.
I didn't
The
say
next
that.
one, the
I
next.
did not say that. You said that.
So what does lack of commitment mean then, Glenn?
Lack of commitment doesn't have to be infidelity. It could be lack of commitment is like I don't want to
Oh.
deal with this arguing.
Oh,
bit.
sounds like an umbrella term then, right?
So, but it doesn't have to mean it's.
Oh, but it's an
infidelity.
umbrella term, right, Glenn? Can you give me a specific definition for lack
Sure,
of commitment?
Yeah, it could be an umbrella term, but it doesn't.
What does
automatically
lack
mean
of commitment
infidelity.
mean? Give me a
It doesn't mean
definition.
infidelity. It doesn't mean infidelity.
So what does it mean? Tell me.
It can mean a lot of different things, but it doesn't.
So don't you think that
definitely mean
you didn't
infidelity.
commit to this person because you fucked somebody else would be a lack of commitment?
That's one example, but you know what?
So
You
that's an
already-
umbrella term. So therefore you agree
I
with
already
me.
said- Yeah, it could be an umbrella,
Yes.
umbrella term, but it doesn't
Okay.
mean infidelity. That's
Yeah.
the point. You said
Well,
infidelity.
Glenn,
It doesn't
Glenn,
mean
Glenn,
infidelity. Stop being
Glenn.
definitive and stop saying it's infidelity is the 100% the number one.
I didn't say
reason.
that.
When
Didn't say
you
that.
said it was the number one reason.
I said okay, fine.
said it
I'll
was
give you that,
the number one reason.
Glenn.
Okay, so then it's not the number one reason.
I'll give you
Moving
that
on.
Glenn. I'll give you that caveat. What I am saying is that when you talk about lack of commitment, that can mean anything. That's an umbrella term. Now the other two is argument and infidelity. Those two are basically equal at 55 to 56. Okay, so okay, excuse me for saying infidelity is ahead by literally 1% or less on that. Fine, fair enough. The point is that's a major factor on divorces. That was my point.
Finances.
It was, bro.
So are finances is part of.
That's not in the fucking. That's not in these studies.
If you look, this is
That-
one study, but we have had studies for
Okay,
the last
Glenn,
20
Glenn,
years that
Glenn.
says finances have always been
Glenn,
a
I-
major factor in divorce.
I understand that. That could be.
So without-
Okay,
That could
I'm
be a
going
lack
to
of.
all right, I'm going to interject.
Our debate's gonna be way better.
You're you guys are quite off topic anyway.
Yeah.
I do understand that we are into
Yeah, I already won
divorce.
the original
Right
topic.
now,
Oh,
I
you
want
lost
you
the
guys.
debate.
Hold on, guys. Whoa, gotta let me get it out.
Settle down, boys.
Yeah, I just want you guys to kind of bring it home back to body count, and then we can move to closing statement because
Yeah.
we're approaching on 2 hours.
Can
But I
we do
think
the
we'd
closing
like-
statements already? We're already approaching.
yeah.
the-
Yeah,
the
let's go
2 hour
ahead
mark
and
anyway.
Okay. You know, first of all, let me just point out that Jake is one of those guys that will end up marrying a woman that has more body count than she would know.
I gotta mute myself.
Every guy doesn't know a woman's body count. It doesn't matter what she tells you. All right, she could tell you she's had 3. She could have 3,000. You don't know, right? Because you have not observed her pussy and how many dicks have gone in it in her lifetime. So obsessing over this number that they tell you is irrelevant. Guys who obsess over a number that they assume they know is a cope, because what it means one or two things. One, it does mean that they're intimidated that either they are not going to be able to perform as better than any of the previous dicks that have been in her. Therefore, there will be more concern about whether or not they could actually maintain her in their frame as a spouse or as a wife over a long period of time, right? Because there's the alpha fucks, beta bucks, or the alpha widow guys that alpha widow these women, that women still. Jada Pinkett Smith is a perfect example, who's been alpha widowed by Tupac, right? And that's a perfect example of a woman who is still pining after a guy that was her best in her eyes. So here's my closing statement. One, I said the audience that watch Fresh and Fit that say these things are the same ones that actually purchase their OnlyFans subscriptions. The way that we can say that, the audience members are the ones that are saying these things, that they won't marry these whores. The audience members are also the same ones that subscribe to these girls as OnlyFans. Now, I don't know exactly if for a fact that each one that has said that are the ones that signed up to them. I am pointing out the fact that it's the same audience. The same audience that's trashing these women are also members of the same audience that are subscribing to them. So that's that. All right. Number two, his point was like the whole 3,000 bodies. I'm assuming, I already said this before, I'm assuming that all women are promiscuous, that all women are whores or sluts, not whores, sluts. So by presuming that they're already there, every woman that I engage with, I'm assuming she's already a slut. I don't need to know what her number is. I'm already assuming that she's promiscuous. So I'm not putting that much credit on that. I'm worried more about how does she treat me moving forward. Moving forward, how does she treat me is more important than the past that I do not know for certain about. So the guys that are saying that they will never marry a whore, they don't know that. That's the cope. They don't know whether or not they're marrying a whore or not. They're only hoping that they're not marrying a whore. Okay? So that's the cope. They're virtue signaling to say that they have higher virtue. That the reason why they're not entertaining these women is because they have higher virtue than they actually do. Because we know that the same men happen to be in, church communities, like pastors, who are having affairs with these whores at a 40% rate, according to certain studies. So to say that these men do not get with whores or do not entertain whores, and that they're more virtuous and that they're going to marry somebody of more virtue is not accurate. We know that we can't prove that they're not whores. And he already said earlier, 10 or more women up. We're assuming that women, 10 bodies or more today. Sluts, not whores. Damn it. Jake, you fucked me up with that damn whore thing. Anyways.
I didn't say a damn thing.
Shut up. You look like a slut. We're saying that the majority of women has 10 bodies or more, and him and I agree that the majority of women are sluts. So that means, in that sense, the majority of men who are marrying women are marrying sluts. They're marrying promiscuous women. So if that's the case, it is cope when they're trying to say that they would never do something and they're doing it. I rest my case, Your Honor. Jake's going to marry a slut, and he's coping by saying that he wouldn't ever date one or get with one if he ends up marrying them. So
Jake, go ahead.
Yeah. So my closing statement is obviously Glenn did concede the fact that when it comes to these men within chats like Fresh and Fit and whatever, he makes the claim that these gentlemen that are talking shit to these OnlyFans whores, which are whores, they're just speaking the truth, are also buying their OnlyFans. When in fact, he has no proof on that. On average of Fresh and Fit that had a 20,000 viewer count, there's no proof that the ones that are talking shit are actually buying the OnlyFans rhetoric. So his claim of because they want to fuck them and they can't bang them in real life, therefore that's why they're talking shit and it's cope, is actually cope on his end. He also admitted that he would marry a woman with a 3,000 body count. And of course, that is, if anything, that's the biggest simp move that any man could actually do. So my closing statement is that, of course, Glenn totally lost this debate when it came down to the topic. We went down to divorce and marriage, which, of course, I wasn't making the argument that a man ought to have not vented a woman. That was his claim, which, of course, I never said that. I said, yeah, they should. It goes back to my example about revealing your body count in the very beginning and revealing yourself as an individual that's not, in order for her to be a little bit more honest, for you to get an idea of what the body count is. I'm not saying that because Glenn is like, do you know for sure, Jake? Do you fucking know? Now, of course not. We're not going to know directly, motherfucker. My point is probability, which was my claim on that. Now, even goes back to the relationship about body count. The reason why it's not a coping mechanism, it's actually a defense mechanism that men don't want a woman that's a whore, because even the stats show that when you fucking fuck with a girl and you marry that bitch that has a higher body count, according to the stats, 21, the fucking likelihood of divorce goes fucking down. Glenn is full of shit when he wants to say that, oh yeah, it's just cope and it's just a bunch of these angry red pill guys that are just talking shit. No proof on that. He never provided any single evidence on it at all. But however, he will sit there and say that he didn't fucking happen at all. And then he changed the subject. In fact, he even fucking conceded that he had no proof on the chat and the RP, because you could just look at the chat, blah, blah, blah. No proof on that. He lost this debate, obviously. And with that being said, I will close my statement, Glenn.
I really thank you both for letting me take the opportunity to practice mod. I definitely needed it. I'm kind of noticing what I need to brush up on before Wednesday, so thank you. And also, I think this is going to be really great for beforehand. So, yeah, appreciate you.
All right, I won. Jake lost. End of story.